Here we go. Let her rip, tater chip. Here we go. It's a Thursday in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau, go with the home team. They are your home team at Farm Bureau Insurance all across the great state of Mississippi. Your hometown heroes, that's your local Farm Bureau insurance agents. Like I say, all across the state. Get on in here. Lots of ways for you to be a part of the show. And I should tell you, right out of the chutes, no delay, no point in delaying it. This will be an abbreviated show today. You got 1 hour with me. The old catchphrase that people would use if they got to slip out early without giving the details is, hey, I got to go see a man about a dog. But, yeah, I got to go pick up Mary Liddy from school a little early, and she's got some things to do and a singing event tonight. And, I don't know if it just worked out that way, if it was planned, but it's Elvis event and Tupelo related, and today happens to be Elvis's birthday. It would have been his 91st birthday. But anyway, so after the first hour of the show today, I'll slip out and go pick her up from school and get going on that. So we get to spend an hour together here. Me, you, Beav, all of us, the whole gang, and we got a lot of ground to cover. Real quick, let me tell you, like I said, you can be a part of the show. I hope you will be. Hey to you on the live stream out there in YouTube and Facebook and X land. We're staying connected to you because of C Spire, the #1 network in Mississippi. C Spire, customer inspired. Check them out at cspire.com. So wherever you are, however you're tuning in. Like Danny, he's on YouTube. If you just type the comment, post it, it pops up on the screen in front of me. Then when I click it, there it is. He says, Hail State Matt, exclamation point. He says, the world will be watching to see if Ole Miss can do the unexpected. Yeah, Danny, and I'm not sure it would be unexpected. I don't know that it necessarily, would be. I think they got a chance to win the whole thing. Of course, 4 teams left. They've all got an equal chance. But I don't know who's saying it's unexpected, to be honest with you. And on Facebook, Gene, good to see you. He commented, just type in your comment, post it, I see it. We can put it up on the screen. It said, Josh Hubbard is a beast. Yep, had another 30 points last night for state basketball. You can text me on the Country Pleasing text line. The number to text is 885-3776. Got it? Write it down. Commit it to memory. 885-3776. That's the number to text. The Country Pleasing text line, Country Pleasing sausage on grocery store shelves all around the Southeast. And call me. That way I get to hear your voice. That'd be great. People get tired of hearing my voice. We get to hear yours for a change. If you'll call me on the Junction phone line, Junction Deli's convenience redefined, fueled by Prince Oil Company all over the state of Mississippi. The number to call is 897-1059. Got it? 601 number, 897-1059. Call me, and we can chat it up. So we got 1 hour together today. We'll have one set of headlines. We'll have those headlines right now.
Good evening. I'm Ron Burgundy, and this is what's happening in your world.
Good evening, and welcome to Eyewitness News.
Here's what's making news.
Headlines on the show brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by Luminate Bank, right here in the state of Mississippi. Find them online at mortgagemanms.com, mortgagemanms.com. Anything mortgage-related in the state of Mississippi, that's where you want to go. Start right there, the kind of people you want to do business with. Headline number 1. Do y'all even know any Miami Dolphins fans? I do. I got some friends I have one friend that's a diehard Miami Dolphins fan. Dolphins are going to have a new coach. I bet it'll be Harbaugh. We don't know that yet. Anyway, they confirmed it today. The Dolphins have fired their head coach, Mike McDaniel. They announced it today. He was the little guy that, wore the short pants and he's different. I bet you the Miami Dolphins are about to hire John Harbaugh. Bet you that's going to happen. Cowboys fans, this time of year when they're not in the playoffs, Jerry Jones is always in the news. He gave an interview yesterday. I just think we ought to note, hey, and wherever you are, Louvier, this is for you. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones says his goal is to retire with the most Super Bowl wins ever. "83 years old, Cowboys owner Jerry Jones. Quote, my goal in life is to retire as the owner that won the most Super Bowls. That's my goal. We've got 3. Robert Kraft has 6. So there you go. All right. And then, Miami on the big stage tonight against Ole Miss in the playoff. That just like Ole Miss, they're 1 win away from a national championship shot. But I'm reading a story here, and I thought you'd know this or would note this before tonight. The Hurricanes have more than a half dozen players. Now, I don't know why we say don't give us – if it's 7, why can't we just say the number? But anyway, maybe half dozen sounds more. More than a half dozen players in the transfer portal. There's a story here that is pointing out that is a recipe for something that they're calling gamesmanship, or at least maybe that's the word that was used by Miami head coach Mario Cristobal. What does that mean? It means that on the day of the game or the day before, in an interview, he's saying that it's understood that Ole Miss people and Ole Miss representatives, or who, if they win, whoever they'd play next week, would reach out to those players, for these Miami players that are in the portal, would talk to them and somehow coax out of them information about Miami's team, about their, hand signals, cadence at the line of scrimmage, and in a way to use that in the game. Here is the quote from Cristobal. Quote, "It happens all the time." Then he went on to say he's not pointing the finger. Quote, "If you don't think it happens, we're kidding ourselves, but I blame the adults. We created this system. We're supposed to be setting an example. We're supposed to be setting the standard. When you create a system that has as many holes in it as it does, shame on you if you're surprised by some of the results that come with it." And those are your headlines. Brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by Luminate Bank. Find them online at mortgagemanms.com, mortgagemanms.com. Now, I will tell you this. No, I'm not surprised by it, but I'm a little ashamed that I didn't think of it. I didn't think even about that possibility. I know that there's a lot of reasons why it's absurd for the transfer portal, the ability for players to go, hey, I'm leaving, for that to overlap with the season still going on, with the postseason still going on, including for playoff teams. All right. I realized I never did quite get to the point where I thought, wait a minute, Miami's got 6, 7, 8 players in the portal off this year's team. And Cristobal is saying there's no doubt that if somebody associated with Ole Miss could talk to those players, and if they could get out of them some information that might help them in this game, they will do it. And I honestly never thought of it. All right, here we go. Over to your texts. Text messages on the Country Please and text line. Let's see. Trez. He says, Matt, do you ever just get tired of it all and drink a 12-pack? No, not me. I don't drink alcohol. I'm weaning myself off of the sodas, the carbonated drinks, and that's actually going well. Like, I can feel a difference and see a difference already. Okay, so no, that's a coping mechanism like that. I don't really have or need, Trez. That's me. I like to say that I have a hoping mechanism, and that is my life and eternity is secure in Jesus as my Savior. But I will say, I don't always, if you were to look at me at times, you don't always see that, because I'm like everybody else. Sometimes I get mad and frustrated and then, depressed and, like anybody else. But yeah, I don't need all that. 3-Hump Camel text the show. Retire from life or just retire from messing up the operations? Now, he's talking about Jerry Jones. Yeah, he's 83, but here's the thing about it, 3-Hump Camel. Like, it's his team. He bought it. It's his money. He can do what he wants to with all of it. And he's 83. Good on him for not thinking about, oh, well, let's just pull the curtains and lay down and wind this thing up. He's still push and go and go. And look, we should all be, in that vein, be the same way. Good on him. John in Rolling Fork, I'll get to your text next. Your comments on the live stream, Joseph and Chris and Sven and Hale State Fan and JS290 coming to y'all. We're just getting started. And there are some other quotes, okay, in a story about the Washington quarterback and what just a total embarrassment this is for anybody that is even loosely associated with college sports. There are some quotes you got to hear coming up next. Stick around.
My perfect day has sand, salt water, and friends.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. That's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple, bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire.
Y'all like coffee? I know you do. Check it out. Little High Point Roasters from New Albany, Mississippi. That is the breakfast blend. It's whole bean. And if you notice, that's how much I've had already. Brazil Oberon. Not Orgeron or Orgeron, you LSU. No, Brazil Oberon. That ain't all. What we got there? What flavor is that? Papua New Guinea grade AA. Bring it on. High Point Roasters, New Albany, Mississippi. Roast it right there. That's Hold Me.
Zone 1059 and coming to you worldwide at thezone1059.com.
All right, back with you. I'm Matt. In the Bureau, the Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance Studio, Farm Bureau Insurance, go with the home team. They are your home team at Farm Bureau all across the great state of Mississippi. Let me get to some of your texts and your comments on the live stream. You're going to do that. But I have a sound clip here I got to play you. And this will be a first. And in this particular vein, it may be a last. I don't know. Never been just a tremendously huge fan, although, I mean, he is, successful in whatever way you want to define that. Dave Ramsey, the financial guy, saw this clip, and I actually agreed with him. Look what he said about, look at the links that Dave Ramsey took this, what he said about online sports gambling.
The fastest growing addiction that is destroying young men in their 20s is online sports gambling. FanDuel is a portal to hell. DraftKings ain't king of nothing except their own pocketbook. And they're screwing an entire generation of young men because you don't win. That's why they can afford to buy ads. They're back-to-back ads every time you turn on a sporting event. They're spending billions of dollars. You know where they're getting that? It's out of your kid's freaking pocket, because they're screwing an entire generation. This is evil stuff right here.
What do you think about that, Dave Ramsey? Evil stuff, online sports gambling. He's screwing up a whole generation, young men in their 20s. What do you think about that? In regards to back-to-back ads, Thibodeau texted me a minute ago on the Country Pleasing text line. He said, "Dadgum, is Alpha low on cash? We're in a commercial break at 12:11 for a show that started at 12." Thibodeau, that was my decision.
The schedule as the same first commercial break that every other show on the station takes. Cool. Also not our company name.
Right, yeah, it changed.
Let's calm down, Tibbs.
Calm down,
Mine's
Tibbs.
your business. Do some loose grass cutting.
No, Thibodeau, what it was is that forever my show was like the lone different one that we had this really long segment, like twice as long as most radio segments at the beginning of each hour of my show. We did that forever. And it had its purposes there for a while, but I decided to cut it in half. And so you don't have actually more commercials. They're just spread out, and you have a break in the middle where every segment's the same length like all the other shows, like Beaver said. So it matches the format of all the other shows in that way. What do you think about that soundbite, though? What I'm going to do is I'm going to play it one more time. I got to hear it again. It's not that long. And then I'm coming to the phone line. Dave Ramsey, what do you think?
The fastest growing addiction that is destroying young men in their 20s is online sports gambling. FanDuel is a portal to hell. DraftKings ain't king of nothing except their own pocketbook. And they're screwing an entire generation of young men because you don't win. That's why they can afford to buy ads. They're back-to-back ads every time you turn on a sporting event. They're spending billions of dollars. You know where they're getting that? It's out of your kid's freaking pocket because they're screwing an entire generation. This is evil stuff right here.
What do you think? All right, let's head over to the phone line. The Junction phone line. Junction delis all across the state of Mississippi, fueled by Prince Oil Company. They've been fueling central Mississippi since 1960. On line one, it's DJ. DJ, thanks for calling. What's up?
It's always great to talk to you, Matt, but I want your honest opinion. As a long-time caller, I feel like I can completely trust you with this question, okay?
Okay.
Jerry Jones or me, who has the better odds of retiring as the owner with the most Super Bowls, or are the odds about the same?
I honestly think they're about the same. Now, yeah, I mean, because really, what is he got? He would have to have. He'd have to live to be 93 and still be doing it and win 3 Super Bowls in 10 years just to tie Robert Kraft. I mean, it's like I said, DJ, I don't mind one bit somebody that, at his age he just sees age as a number. He's not worried about, the end of his life or seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Like, he's on go every day and you got big goals and big dreams. Fine. But you and I are talking about the reality of it. The reality is it ain't happening.
Right. Well, and the other thing, and I don't know if he meant it or not, he bought the Dallas Cowboys. So technically he bought the franchise, which preceded him with 2 Super Bowl titles. So Dallas has 5. So I guess if he counts those 2 and he wins another 2, I don't know if that's the math he was using.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to your DraftKings, and I'm glad you played that. I don't do online gaming or gambling of any sort. But the thing is, it's such a rush. And the thing is, young people have always, I don't know about you, but I'm better at my money at my age than I was when I was early 20s.
Mm-hmm.
So young people, whether it's, sports cars or different things, young people have always been a little more careless with their money, but it wasn't at their fingertips like it is now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
And they propagate all the winners, but, for every, it's just like it, when somebody wins a 10 game parlay, okay? How many people are just throwing money out the window? You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's right. Yeah.
And, when somebody told me, and again, I'm an Ohio State fan, but I got my degree from Mississippi State, so I pulled from Mississippi State. But I don't know what the odds were for Mississippi State to win the national title this year, but they were pretty large odds. And somebody told me they had put $100 on Mississippi State and winning the national titles. So that was a solid bet because of the odds. Okay? Well, Matt, I'm going to finish with this question. If I gave you 10 million to 1 odds that I was going to win the 100-meter dash in the Olympics, are those good odds?
No.
Good enough odds to bet on?
Zero. Because what are the chances? The reality chances are less than zero.
Right, zero.
Yeah,
You're throwing the money out the window. And I'm not knocking Mississippi State, but Mississippi State was not built this year to be a contender. I hope Mississippi State, what would be great for those, and look, I congratulate the Ole Miss fans who want to do it right now. But wouldn't it be great if this was a baseball repeat where when State finally got over the hump and won the Natty, and then the next year Ole Miss jumped in? Wouldn't it be something if next year we're talking about Mississippi State at this time? Wouldn't that be something? But anyway, thanks, man.
DJ, appreciate the call. Always good to hear from you. Some of the comments on Grumpy texted on the Country Pleasing text line, said, amen on gambling, Matt. Grumpy made many bad decisions when he was young. Isn't that something, Grumpy, like most of us, we still make bad decisions, but boy, we sure do make fewer of them now than we did 20, 30 years ago. Joe Mailman said, Dave is the man. Talking about Dave Ramsey. He said, been putting out good information for a long time concerning finances. Will commented or texted and said, sounds like Dave Ramsey has never hit a 7-leg parlay. He said, what a nerd. Well, we know where you stand too, Will. Jason in Flagstaff said, I'll take some gambling commercials in a heartbeat over that Shopify commercial and the, quote, poor kitty cats commercial I hear every break listening to 105.9 The Zone. He's quoting Chicken Hawk. Come on, Jason. I mean, it ain't that bad. I mean, we can't all get everything we want all the time. Right? Hey, let me get to some of your comments, too, on the live stream. Chris commented he's happy about State winning a basketball game last night. Joseph comments on Facebook. He said that Ole Miss's run's going to end tonight. Sven commenting on the Cowboys said, will Jerry be 190 years old? Because that's when the Cowboys are going to win their next Super Bowl. And Sven he moved the goalpost way on out there. Hail State fan said to Sven, our offensive line is a glaring weakness. He's talking about State. Another long year next season, regardless of how much Arnett improves the defense. How many 5-win seasons will be tolerated is what he wants to know. And then let's see, what else we got? Okay, and Sven, I wanted you to know that I got this, and I very much appreciate it. That question I asked yesterday about getting help, if anybody out there knows of, like, old basketball gyms, particularly ones maybe that are at a school or an old school, it's not being used, if it is being used, but like the oldest gyms in Mississippi, and you told me that John Ross Myers works for Mississippi News 2 years ago, did a series about the old gyms in Mississippi, and I appreciate that, Sven, and I didn't know that, and I'll try to reach out and see if we can connect that. Some of it's curiosity, but it's also maybe a project in mind. We can see what we could do. All right, rolling along with you here. Got a 1-hour show today. And so not quite halfway through. Got a long way to go. So come on back with us, staying connected to you because of C Spire.
This is Jake Mangum, former Mississippi State Bulldog. I can tell you.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
The Junction Delis, convenience redefined, and Prince Oil Company, a match made in heaven. The Junction Deli, fueled by Prince Oil Company. Prince Oil Company has been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960. It's a pretty good little while. Wonderful people. Man, am I ever more tickled that they're a part of the show and I'm a part of their team now. As you know, if you listen to the radio show, I've been to the Junction in several different places around the state. I've bought gas just like you at a lot of places that are fueled by Prince Oil Company, and they are really wonderful people. By the way, that brand spanking new Junction Deli, Chevron, right across the highway from Germantown High School. It's in Canton, we say Gluckstadt. Do you realize they and other Junction Delis, they serve country-pleasing sausage over there on the buffet? They don't get much better than that. The Junction and Prince Oil Company. That's what I'm talking about. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire.
Welcome to my photography studio downtown Tupelo. Everybody needs a headshot, especially if you're in the professional world, in sales, any sort of customer related business, outreach business, anything like that. Everybody needs a headshot. Here at my photography studio in Tupelo, we do a lot more than just headshots, but we're kind of focusing on headshots for that very reason, because everybody needs it. Let me show you a little something about it. One thing I'm able to do here is sort of have 2 to 3 different looks in a small space that we can do in a short amount of time. Several different looks and styles of lighting with studio equipment, studio lighting. Some with flash and a particular look that I've worked on, a constant lighting scenario where you sit down, the lights are already on, you lean in, and we kind of illuminate the whole face. And we get several options in the studio in a short amount of time. Here's 2 priorities for me when I shoot headshots. One is it has to look like you. Okay, none of this fake stuff. The other goal is it's got to look like you at your best. And that's my job as a photographer. And I've got a lot of experience over the years, and I feel really confident I can do that for you. I would love to schedule a session for you here at the studio in downtown Tupelo. I'm above the Reed's Gift Shop, just off of Troy Street, the corner of Troy and Spring. If you can't get to Tupelo, that's okay. Let's talk about it, because we can pack the studio up and come to you if the schedules fit and that sort of thing. I'd love to help you with your headshots. I think everybody needs them. I'm inviting you to please email me, reach out. You can go to my website, mattwyattmedia.com, email address matt@mattwyattmedia.com, and let's talk about your headshot. Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi, local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender. Hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away.
Gonna hear about them all and get to talk about it with Matt Wyatt right here, right now on the Zone 1059 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
All right, back with you. I'm in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau, go with the home team. They are your home team. A few texts here. Most superior unnamed texter, that's what it says on the Country Pleasing text line. It says, my personal opinion on online betting has been the best thing for me because it saves gas money going to Vicksburg or to Philadelphia to place my sports bets. And he says, and if you bet within your means, you're not hurting. He said, I'm a $5 better, 5 to 9 leg parlay guy. That's me, and I have won. Somebody else texted in and said, if we have a 5-win season next year, there will be a push for Mullen. Yeah. You know, they got to toughen up, like line of scrimmage. They're way too soft. They kind of have been for years now. Like, it's just way, you know, it's almost like if you were to kind of back up and just take this big, broad descriptor and, you know, let the smart people figure out the details of how to handle this, but big, broad descriptor and just go, okay, here's the line you have to be past in the toughness and physicalness area. Under that line, anything under that line is way too soft to really win significant games in a league like the SEC. And even though the SEC was down this year, and maybe even down as compared to the Big Ten, State's way down here in the softness category. They just are, period. Just fact. You better improve that, or, you know, if you're soft, ultimately, you know, it doesn't matter how many big throws you can complete down the field. It don't matter. This is the way it is. Excuse me. Jason in Flagstaff really, really, really hates, he says, the Shopify commercial at the end of Jake's show. He said he wants to punt it. Craig texted to let me know there's an old wooden gym in Lena, Mississippi. The old key still painted on the floor. Sounds like the gym from Hoosiers when I officiated games there a few years ago. Okay, Lena wrote it down. Thanks for your text, Craig. I appreciate that. Appreciate it very, 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 very much. All right, so listen to this. What has become of college sports? Let me throw some things onto your plate. I'm reporting it. You decide whether you like it or not. Came out yesterday afternoon. Report. Billionaire Indiana alum Mark Cuban is donating to the Hoosiers 2026 transfer portal class. All right, so directly to football. Let's make sure we're aware of that. So Mark Cuban, who everybody knows, he can really be kooky sometimes, but boy, he's really been successful, financially successful, right? Billionaire Mark Cuban donating directly to Curt Cignetti and the Indiana Hoosiers football transfer portal class this year. The quote from Mark Cuban is, let's just say they are happier this year than last year. Billionaire alum donate directly to a program money to use to pay players to come and play football, to entice some players into the portal because we want you and we'll pay you a lot of money, and to entice others who are already in the portal to come and play for us. And, you know, we'll pay you. We're effectively paying you to play football. But any language, and we'll have some contracts, but any language will protect us from it officially being a pay-for-play contract. So we're going to lie about it, even on paper, because we can, And so there's a workaround, and that's going to help us win football games. So how do you feel about that? You like it? You can feel about it however you want. Nobody can tell you how to feel about it. So do you like it? Do you not? What was that line yesterday in the lawsuit we were reading about? I tweeted it. Here it is. Quote, "And it harms the community at large by promoting school systems where sports become not just an important part of education, but the main goal to be forcefully pursued at all costs." How do you feel about it? All right. In a story that you knew about yesterday, the Washington quarterback, Damon Williams, who, reneged on his contract that he signed with Washington for $4 million just a few days after he signed it so that he could get in the portal and after being tampered with by Lane Kiffin and LSU, so he could take $6 million to go down there. And Washington will not put his name in the portal because they have the contract. They're going to try to sue over it and all this kind of stuff. And there's lots of things being written, and there is a story with lots of quotes. Here are some of those quotes. Now, the update is, listen to me now, we're talking college football. You got to take the word college out because it insinuates education. It ain't got a thing to do with any of it. This kid had an agent this whole time. This kid had an agent who got him the $4 million deal with Washington, all that. The announcement today, his agent has resigned. I'm no longer his agent. I don't want anything to do with that kid. Okay, so now we've had a split up of the agent and the kid because of what he did. One high-ranking college official said, we're not talking about a referee, by the way, quote, "This is a very bright line. Are we going to respect each other's contracts? This is a very simple thing. If we can't protect this, nothing else matters." A prominent athletics director said, quote, "This situation is a product of 2026 football. Where the story ends, this is one of the big moments in college football, or really college sports, on what do we do next." Another high-ranking college official said, quote, "This wouldn't happen in professional sports." Things like this seem to show that people think they can do anything. People seem to think they can do anything. Now, that describes a lot of people in college athletics. It certainly describes Lane Kiffin. I made the statement yesterday, and I would stand by it. There's nobody in all of college sports with less individual integrity than Lane Kiffin. Nobody. But the thing about it is, I don't want agreement from my Ole Miss friends and colleagues and family. I don't want agreement on that, because just a few weeks ago, you would have elected him mayor. You would have. Just a few weeks ago, you would have donated to the statue of Lane Kiffin. So I don't want to hear it from you. You can't agree with me. But it's a true statement. Nobody's got less integrity in college sports than he does. And he's in the middle of this. One general manager at a top program said, quote, "It's extremely embarrassing the system allows this. There's no stability at all. How are people sitting around watching everything crumble? What are the leaders doing? What are the commissioners doing? How do we not get everyone in a room and not leave until there's a solution?" If I didn't tell you that right there was a quote from a general manager at a top program, who does it sound like? I'll admit, it sounds like me. Let me read it again, and you imagine it's me on this radio show. Thibodeau, you listen most days. Jason, you listen most days. How many times have you heard this out of my mouth? There's no stability. How are people sitting around watching everything crumble? What are the leaders doing? What are the commissioners doing? How do we not get everybody in a room and not leave until there's a solution? How many years do we have to ask this question is what I want to know. Okay, but again, there's some of us, We don't have the right to nod in agreement with all this stuff that they are saying in their quotes, and then I keep harping on. Some of us don't have the right to nod in agreement because, like I said, nobody's supporting it more than you are. You can't disagree with it. Nobody's supporting it more than you. One veteran coach added with a chuckle, quote, I don't even know who to turn complaints into. He don't even know who's like, who do I send this to? I got a complaint on tampering, but who do I tell? That's where we are. But what I would say to all of us individually, let's all of us individually be challenged, be really challenged when we read some of this stuff. If we're going to nod in agreement, but not change any behavior whatsoever, be careful. You can choose. You can do what you want. Back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hey y'all, Matt Wyatt here. Each week on the Mississippi Outdoors Podcast, we talk with the people who live it. Hunters, biologists, game wardens, local celebrities, and storytellers that know Mississippi better than anyone.
Those bass come up there and attack them. You know how mean bass can be there.
You're never going to believe this. Matt Wyatt just talked about your deer on the radio. I said, what did he say? He said, it was Photoshopped. And I said, what?
They don't know anything about hunting. They just have never had that right, that freedom.
Dude, that's us, man. That's what we do. So tune in. Be inspired, and we'll see you outdoors.
After these messages, we'll be right back. Yeah.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. It's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple, bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage. The Junction Delis convenience redefined, and Prince Oil Company, a match made in heaven. The Junction Deli, fueled by Prince Oil Company. Prince Oil Company has been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960. It's a pretty good little while. Wonderful people. Man, am I ever...
Matt Wyatt is in the house on the Zone 105.9 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
All right, back with you. Grumpy texted the show on the Country Pleasing text line. He said, Matt, Grumpy is still thinking this might be a special MSU basketball season. Grumpy's favorite players, or whatever five are on the floor, whatever five are on the floor. How about getting Neil on your show soon? Signed, Hail Elvis. Hey, Grumpy, what did Gary Busey in the movie DC Cab say about Elvis's birthday?
I want to get one thing straight here, or I'm walking too. I don't work on January the 8th, because that's Elvis's birthday.
I don't work on old Gary Busey. He's nuts. He was nuts then. He's really nuts now. He's funny. So January 8th, Elvis would have been 91 today. So speaking of not working, Grumpy on his birthday. We're about to wrap the show up. I have a 1 hour show with you today. I got to go and pick up Mary Liddy from school a little early. And she's involved in a singing event at the Elvis Presley fan club at the birthplace in Tupelo tonight and all that. So we're going to go and get started on that. And regarding Neil, Neil has been a busy man lately. I mean, frequent flyer miles. Charlotte to Austin to, all over the place and back home. State Grad 98 said everyone should donate to East Texas State A&M's Portal Fund. Why? Why, State Grad? Somebody texted in and said need to get Charles Cross and his millions to donate to state to buy some offensive linemen. Yeah, big Charles Cross. He's a good one. They re-upped him with Seattle. The way that they handled the 49ers the other day, I started questioning my pick of the 49ers to win the whole thing. Starting to question that. It might be Charles Cross in Seattle. You talk about an outstanding football player now. He's what everybody in football at every level is looking for. And somebody put out a list the other day about how much these players at different positions are costing schools and everything in the transfer portal. Like quarterbacks were between $1 million and $4 million, and then it was this, and it was like offensive tackles or linemen. I'm like, no. Wait a minute, time out. That didn't make any sense to me. I promise you, if that's what they're doing, if that's what a lot of these GMs are doing. Now, the GMs may not be doing it in college sports. Maybe there are some schools that they don't really, maybe they have a GM, but it's really some booster calling the shots because they have the money. And you want to have some big name quarterback or get the fan base excited by paying some quarterback to come. Okay, fine. Quarterbacks are important. But if you want to do it right, you build a good team from the inside out. I've said it till I'm blue in the face. If you're great on the line of scrimmage, offensive, defensive line, you can be average at your skill positions. You'll still win. Vice versa, you'll lose. You can be great at skill positions, but if you're average on line of scrimmage, you'll lose. You will lose. There it is. And so if I'm a GM, there's no way on earth I would ever pay any quarterback, I don't care what the market is. There's no way I'd pay any quarterback more with more priority than going and finding a Charles Cross, offensive tackle type of player. That offensive tackle, defensive tackle, say 3 technique, and pass rush end. There they are. 1, 2, 3. Start right there. Hey, if you can't figure that out, don't spend a dime on anything else because it doesn't matter. That's what I said. Telling you, start right there. Find you a Charles Cross. And if you're paying people, you're telling me you're paying them to play football. That's the deal. Ask him what he wants. And you better start right there. And if you don't start right there, you're almost wasting your money on other stuff. I hate to tell you that. It's the truth. Speaking of the truth, Jason in Flagstaff texted the show. He said the cold, hard truth is that they, meaning leaders, don't want a solution. As long as it's the Wild West, the biggest schools and the biggest conferences have free reign to make sure they stay at the top of the money line. Everyone else, players chasing that money, smaller schools that can't afford it, etc., pay the price. He's right. If Greg Sankey really wanted a solution, he'd have one. They don't really want one. And, you know, he can't do it by himself. But so let's just say the commissioners collectively, because they'd have to do it as a group. It'd be easy for those to get in a room. What do you got, a power four? So we're talking about 4 guys. 4 in a room. Those 4. If they really wanted a solution, you'd have one. But I'm like you, Jason. They like their paychecks. Why rock the boat? Ain't no point in it. So they're good. Let me send you out with some scripture. This is Psalm 18, verse 30. Psalm 18, verse 30. As for God, his way is blameless. The word of the Lord is tried. He, capital H, is a shield to all who take refuge in him. You know, I read that earlier today, and like my toes were all stepped on because I thought, you know, how often am I really what I'm doing? Really what I'm really doing is I'm really taking refuge in something else or somebody else or something else. That, you know, instead of always taking refuge in him. And what does it mean? He is a shield to all who take refuge in him. Well, is that true? Is that true? Because if it is, like that's a big deal. As for God, his way is blameless. Completely blameless. The word of the Lord is tried. He is a shield to all who take refuge in him. That's Psalm 18:30 if you want to go read it for yourself. I believe that I don't know, that might have come from the New King James translation, but I'm not sure. Because it was part of something I typed up and I didn't type what deal it was there. Oh, yeah, okay. So, look, I got a question from somebody. What's on the TV in the studio today on the live stream out there in YouTube and Facebook and X land? That's some fishing videos that I made with some friends and family. There's 3 different episodes of a kind of a pilot fishing show we did a couple of years ago. One episode with Tyler Russell, from Meridian, quarterback, former state quarterback. One with some of the Morgans from Vicksburg, Rob, his dad Robert, and Rob's son Trace. And then an episode, me and my dad down in South Alabama. The one that's on there right now is I went fishing with Tyler. And we caught some. We weren't even in a boat, just kind of walking around on the bank. But, yeah, that's what that is. I don't know if you knew that, but Tyler Russell, big-time outdoorsman now, tournament fisherman. As they say, like in the lingo, he's a stick. Don't ask me where that came from. But like in fishing lingo, if somebody goes, man, that guy, he's a stick now, that means he can catch them. Don't ask me. Don't know why that developed that way. Yeah, but that's what those are. So, and if you were to want to watch them, they're pretty cool. We did a good job with them. All right. If I do say so myself. from a shooting and an editing standpoint. You could find them. You can go to my YouTube channel there. Well, some of y'all are watching on it. You could go to my YouTube channel there and see it like on the playlist. There's a Fishing Till Football playlist. And those episodes are on there if you want to go watch those. All right. That'll wrap it up for today. Just a 1 hour show today. We'll be back for the normal 2-hour show tomorrow. Good Lord willing, and creek don't rise. All right. Happy birthday, Elvis. From all of us here on the show. I'm Matt Beaver. All of us here. Thanks for being a part of it. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place, in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau Insurance, go with the home team. See you then. See ya.